So last night we all went to bed knowing that the Charlotte Hornets, they were listening to offers on LaMelo Ball. And then this morning, the star guard was traded, and that is where we start our show. Shams Charania reporting that Ball, Josh Green are headed to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, 2030, 2029, 2028, and 3 second-round picks as well. I'm Malika Andrews here alongside Brian Windhorst, the man who broke the news, Shams Charania, our front office insider, Bobby Marks, and Aman Shumpert. So, Shams, we all went to bed last night knowing that this was a possibility. Why did the Charlotte Hornets decide that now was the time?
Malika, for the first time in LaMelo Ball's career, he was a very wanted man. His value has been at its peak going into this offseason. He had a strong finish to the year for the Hornets. Him and the Hornets seemed like they were in a great place. And suddenly, in the last couple weeks, 3 teams came and made rich offers to the Hornets. Minnesota, Toronto, and Portland. And the Hornets never came into the offseason wanting to shop LaMelo Ball, but the price kept going up, and they felt if a team met their threshold, they would not be afraid to move him. And that's what Minnesota and Tim Connolly, the president of basketball operations, he is no stranger to making these types of moves, these gunslinging moves. That's the term that I hear throughout the NBA today, is that Tim Connolly is a gunslinger because of moves like this. Rudy Gobert several years ago, that was looked at as a move. They gave up all these draft picks, and they do the same here. Naz Reid, a very good two-way big, unprotected first-round pick that's far out, that's valuable, 3 pick swaps, 3 second-round picks. So they've met that price. And a lot of it for the Timberwolves, when I speak to people there, they say we needed a talent infusion.
Right.
We saw what happened with us in the playoffs last year against San Antonio, Oklahoma City, the year before that.
Right.
We need players of LaMelo Ball's caliber to be able to compete with them. They went after Jaylen Brown this offseason. They went after Giannis and Antetokounmpo at the deadline and lightly again this summer. But LaMelo Ball emerged as their target. And I spoke to someone around LaMelo Ball earlier this morning, and he told me that LaMelo Ball is excited to go to Minnesota.
I would be.
Him and Anthony Edwards have had contact. They're friends, and he knows the task at hand now to try to lead this team with Anthony Edwards to a championship.
Ant needed some help. It was so clear at the end of the season.
And specifically a point guard. How many times were we texting and we would say they need a point guard on this team?
We saw so many times this year where Ant was going uphill facing double teams.
Right.
It was the standard. That's where the game plan started. We're going to double team Ant 25 times.
Frustrating.
Okay? And so this is a way to free him. This is such a welcome sight. And look, I don't know where this situation was going. When soon as Giannis got traded, the people in the league who track these things said, put Ant on the watch list because of the way this season ended. Then the Wolves make the deal the other day where they appeared to salary dump Julius Randle. It's like, oh man, now ownership's pulling back on spending.
Well, that's why Bobby's saying there's always a part A, part B, part C to a trade.
It was a flashing orange light, and it ended up being a green light because to get this player, you double team Ant Edwards now with LaMelo Ball on the court, you are all kinds of in trouble because he is not afraid to shoot from anywhere. He is not afraid, and he will throw the ball. He will push the ball up in transition. I don't know if this is going to work, okay? I don't know if LaMelo is going to stay healthy, but this is a terrific, aggressive move that will open up the floor for them.
I like it a lot. I think that LaMelo Ball does as good as anybody.
Were you surprised at all?
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised because LaMelo Ball has a trust issue next to his name. Everybody's got these trust issues with him. I tell you what I trust him to do. I trust him to throw a good lob, and now he's got a good lob target. I trust him to come off a ball screen and take 2 dribbles and get in the lane. He might serve the pizza with it. He might do it a little bit too much.
We're in New York.
He might throw it behind his back, but he can get in there. When you collapse a defense and now you're kicking out to Ant Edwards, and Ant Edwards can attack a closeout as opposed to him getting the ball, having to protect his catch, see a defense loading up and try and figure out how am I going to knife in there. No, he's about to be doing this after the defense has already been broken down. He's going to be doing this after the defense had to do a rotation. You telling me you're going to now rotate? You can't rotate off Anthony Edwards. So who's going to deal with all of these rotations? How are you going to do it? Are you going to have a long rotation where you have to go back to the corner on the opposite
There's
side?
no questions here on the offensive end. On the offensive end, there is no questions.
And I love that you said that because defensively now Rudy Gobert, step up. Now you get to show that you are the man. Because I remember being in New York and feeling like, yeah, I can guard people, I can do this, I can do that. But there's nothing better than having a Tyson Chandler behind you and say, hey, no, you by yourself. Now we over here. You made a mistake, he blew by you, that's cool. I can erase the mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think LaMelo Ball's ever had that. That'll make you play harder on defense. You'll have a little bit more in the tank to say, hey, I got an extra power slide I could do before I just let you get away.
Not to mention Gobert, he loves that little short roll, and who's going to be setting him up in that at this point, right, Bobby?
72 games last year in Charlotte, second most in his career. You saw how impactful he is. Now, that's going to have to carry over to Minnesota when you have Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. Now, when the trade was announced this morning, we had the wow effect, and then I'm spinning my head, and what's next? Because this is what happened. The trade was essentially Julius Randle and Naz Reid for LaMelo Ball.
By the way, shout out to everyone who got a Naz Reid tattoo in Minnesota. We are feeling for you and thinking about you today.
And what happened, right, when you lose your two bigs? You got to replace the two bigs, because right now you basically have Rudy Gobert on your front line here with Johan Berenger, their draft pick last year.
Who they like a lot.
Second apron, we're all talking about you're hard capped at the second apron. You have $10 million to spend on three or four players.
Right.
So you're going to scour the veteran minimum market. Do not discount the trade market here. I hate talking about players that are injured with Dante DiVincenzo, but he's on a $12 million expiring contract.
Right.
I know Minnesota's out there looking for four, not in the trade market, but they need replacement.
Yeah, and they need a four, right? The four is the priority because, yes, Jaden McDaniels, who they're banking on continuing his Kevin Durant-esque, as Anthony Edwards likes to compare him to, rise, right? That's what they're banking on here. But also, that seems to be where they need to go. Are we done, Shams? Is there more?
Like Bobby just says, they're going to have minimums to play with. And Tim Connolly, that front office, they know it's a lot about recruitment now. They have to go out and sell players and free agents on wanting to come to Minnesota, playing with Ant Edwards, LaMelo Ball, who they feel like makes everyone around you better. And you can maybe, if you're a big man, earn your next contract, be a little bit more lucrative. But I know internally in Minnesota, they really feel like LaMelo Ball is going to come in and take advantage of having Jaden McDaniels on the wing and Rudy Gobert at center. They love, you said his name, Johan Berenger. They love this kid. He's going to get a larger role next season. And when they dumped Julius Randle the other day to the Brooklyn Nets, there was a lot of chatter about Minnesota's ownership around the league. And what do Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry do? They're paying the luxury tax for the third straight year.
Right. So that is Minnesota's side of all of this. And certainly the bar for them, again, is getting back to the conference finals and beyond. But if we could bend that corner and head back to Charlotte for just a minute here, they got a haul in return. Jeff Peterson and their front office, they were really cooking on this one.
I know that the fans in Charlotte who finally had a real season to get behind the team are in a little bit of a state of shock right now.
And he's a fan favorite.
Yes, he's a fan favorite and he's feared on the roads. But it is something that is... He absolutely held them down when they had nothing to cheer for, okay? And he really had a step forward season this last year. He reduced his minutes. At times, he was okay coming off of the bench.
He averaged a career low in minutes last year, right?
Which points came down.
Maybe why he was able to play 72 games.
That's what they believed. And look, Con Knippel came in there, and he had no issue with sharing the spotlight with Con Knippel, who almost won Rookie of the Year. But he's owed $130 million over the next 3 years. And they were faced with losing Kobe White, who they traded for midseason. Kobe White had a good market out there, multiple teams willing to pay him. And Kobe White's numbers, now he is a very different player than LaMelo. He's not going to necessarily replace him. Kobe White could average 20 points. Kobe White shot a higher percentage from three-point range this year than LaMelo Ball. Now, he's not going to take 11 a game like LaMelo did. He's not as flashy, but they get him today on a 3-year, $74 million extension. He's going to make 60% of what LaMelo did, and I'll bet he's going to provide 80-ish, 90-ish% of the stats. And they get all these extra assets, and they free up money. They can pay Brandon Miller. They open up some more space for Con Knippel, and they get Naz Reid, a guy who can stretch the floor and help them with their big man position. It's a good piece of business for Charlotte.
Yeah, I like what you call it, though. I like Naz Reid in that spot instead.
Yeah, when you said what you call it, I